Hello fellow subscribers of the Trundley Close Railway Centre YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing another review video on a new purchase, which is, to be honest, I'm just going to get straight to it and say that it's absolutely beautiful, this model. So this is the new Heljan Class 40, which is the centre Headcode variant. So this is BR Blue 4015, what it says 40151 centre box weathered, but my one isn't actually that one. Mine's actually 40155. So they've got that a little bit mixed up with the boxes by the looks of things. Doesn't really bother me too much, but yeah. Anyway, so this is the box. Honestly, it's very thin, and you wouldn't have thought that it would hold a Class 40, but in all honesty, it was really tight in here, and to try and get it out was a bit of a pain in the backside, but it was well packaged up and well done, very well actually. It had a load of foam around it. You just had to sort of lift the foam out and then just sort of pull the loco out of the box, but it was a two-man job, to be honest with you, because I couldn't pull it out. It was just too tight in there. But apart from that, once it's out, it's out. And in all honesty, these boxes are not very ideal for transport. So if you are going to transport these locos to other railways, you've got pretty much bob open no ope with these boxes, because they're utter shite. They just have the plank in there, a couple of bits of foam, and that's it. To try and transport locos with these boxes is a pain in the backside. So whatever you do, guys, do not do it. I will advise you not to, unless you're putting the plank into the box and then you're just holding the box up straight in the car when you're going to another railway or something, and that is probably the only way that you're going to be able to do it. Anyway, without further ado, let's get down to the actual model on my review floor and get to the details. And there she is in all her glory, number 40155 in BR Blue with Domino's Headcode box. Now, this was sort of a last-minute.com pre-order. I just sort of had some extra money that I was saving up and then just decided to throw it on here. And to be honest, I am glad I did. So, I've ordered this through a friend of mine, and he owns a shop at the Colne Valley Railway in Hedingham, Essex, known as the Tierney Model Railway Shop. I recommend checking it out. So go down to the Colne Valley and you'll find a model railway shed, and he has a shop. You can also order things through him as well, and there also is a Facebook page to the model railway shop and shed. I'll link his Facebook page in the description of the video, so you can go and check that out. I'm also going to be reviewing the Banana Van and Conflat Wagon, which are two new products by Dapple, which I also ordered from his shop. And yeah, honestly, he does some good deals and it's worth checking him out. Anyway, let's get down to the review. So, first of all, we'll start with the buffer beam. And that is some fantastic detail there. So, originally, the coupling actually had foam over the top, so it had like a sticky foam to keep it safe, which is a nice touch by Heljan. They've never done that before, and I think it was a very good and noble decision to do, because it's extra protection for the detailing at the bottom of the buffer beam, which is really good. And I do think that they've upped their game with this model, and I'll tell you why very soon. So we do have sprung metal buffers, although they are very hard to spring. You have to push them in pretty hard to actually get them to spring, which could be good or it could be bad. It depends what stock you're using on your layout. But I'm sure there's probably a way of loosening them, or, well, to be honest, I won't even bother, but there you go. I'm sure it'll be fine when running. We'll find out eventually once I get this sound fitted and sounded up in the future of the Trundley Close Garden Railway. It won't be at the moment, because it will take some time to get this sound fitted, but when it does, I'm sure it'll be fantastic. Moving up, we're going to head up to the Domino's box soon. So first of all, we've got the nice blue stars above the buffer beam there, which shows that it can be multiple worked. And we also have these metal handrails and metal lamp irons. Now this is something that Heljan have really had a downer with in past locos. The 33 is a typical example for that. And they used plastic handrails and lamp irons, which are just no good. They fall to bits, they snap easily, and it's just really poor quality for the price that you're paying. But that has been resolved here on this Class 40. It is all metal, which is absolutely fantastic. So well done, Heljan, on upping your game there. That's great. It's a similar build to the 25, where it has metal parts instead of crappy, cheap plastic parts. Now, as you can see here, we have our Domino's Headcode box. However, there is a slight issue with paint chipping around the edges of the Headcode. I mean, it doesn't really bother me too much, as it actually makes it look a bit more like a worn Loco, a little bit, I guess, because occasionally you get paint chips on Locos anyway. But that's not really the point. That is a slight dilemma with the model, but it doesn't really bother me too much. We've got nice, crisply applied warning stickers. They look fabulous. They are clear and you can see them very well. We also have some etched horn grills there as well, which are sort of like see-through, and you can sort of imagine that the horns are up there and present in the locomotive. But yeah, honestly, when I got this out of the box, I didn't know what I was expecting, because it is a considerably cheaper model to the Class 45s, Class 47 and Class 50. But considering the quality of the build, I'm really impressed with especially with how much you've paid for it, considering it's a lot cheaper than some other Heljan models. So we do have separately fitted wipers on the windows there, which are nicely present and correct, which is great to see. And as I said, you've got cab handrails, which are all metal as well, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm glad they are, because those things would be likely to snap if they were plastic. So well done, Heljan, on that. We do have cab interior detail, although it's not very well visible because of the lighting we have here. But we do have cab interior detail, and we also have painted seats, painted red seats, which are very nice as well and nicely done, as well as back wall detail, and the hole in the door to the engine room, which is very nice to see. Heading down, we come to the underframe, and it is rimming with detail, actually, this underframe. We've got rivets everywhere. We've got the appropriate bearing caps with the lettering on them as well, which is a really nice touch, and it's nicely picked out. As you can see, we've got all of the rivets along here, as well as the steps up to the cab, and springs around them, as well as dials and other bits and pieces along there, which you can actually see the dials on them as well, which is nice to see. We've got an etched grille on the side of the body there. It's quite nice. It's not too bad, although the back section is sort of moulded on there into the body, I think. But mind you wouldn't really see through that anyway on a 40, so that is perfectly fine. It's nicely clean cut, and it does look pretty nice. We do have some engine room detail inside the windows. Unfortunately, it's not painted. Some production shots, I'm pretty sure I saw it was painted, but in this particular model it's not, and that's a bit of a shame really, because I think it would have benefited with some paint. And also we've got detailing around the fuel tank. We've got stuff like the sanding pipes underneath on the bogies down there. We've got little bits and pieces on here. Look, the fuel tank does look pretty nice. We've got the silver tanks there as well above the fuel tank, in between the body. And then the secondary bogie does sort of look the same as the other one, so there's not really any real difference there. We also have a speedometer on one side of this as well, which is great to see. The numbering is there and crisp and present, as well as the data panel, which is great to see. And on that cab we also have the BR emblem on that side there, which is also another nice addition. So we're going to head up to the roof now and take a look at that. So the roof is nicely detailed. We have an etched fan grille there with a giant fan. This fan does spin when it's in motion, and also it can be wired to a DCC decoder to work with the fan sound. We have the exhaust ports there on top of the 40. Now these exhaust ports are see-through, as you can see down there, so that could be a good use for where sound can escape if you are to fit this with DCC sound. We also have a lot of panelling along the roof here, as well as grills and other bits and pieces along the body side there as well. I do apologise for this lighting, it's a bit crap, isn't it? It's because the day is a bit dull. We also have another exhaust here, which is nice to see. That would be where the boiler was on the 40, and that is all nice and present there and looking good. So we're going to head over to the other side and take a look at the speedometer, as I said a minute ago about there is a speedometer on one side of this. And there is the speedometer, and it looks nice there. It's very nicely clean, separately fitted part there. Very well done. And look at all this riveting along there, look, where the springs are. I mean, it is just absolutely fantastic. I'm really impressed with the build quality of this model. It is a big step up. And we also have other bits and pieces as well, like other little bits and pieces like cables heading down to the buffer beams, and it is honestly a really nice looking model, and I'm impressed with this. Obviously the other end is exactly the same as the number one end, and basically it just has less paint chips on that end. So yeah, and there is a Domino's box all nice and present. So overall, what do I think of the Class 40? Well, I think it's absolutely fantastic. And what do I rate it out of 10? I'd give it a 10 out of 10, not going to lie. It was not what I was expecting. I was really proud and impressed of this model, and they have really upped their game. So well done, Heljan. This build quality is certainly one of the better build qualities that Heljan have done. Unlike the Class 33 and Class 37, which were a bit of a letdown considering the amount of plastic parts that were used on them, this has a lot of nice metal separately fitted parts, just like the Class 25 and Class 53 Falcon I own. So thanks for watching, guys. I do hope you enjoyed this review of the Heljan brand new Class 40 with Centre Headcode box. It is just a pleasure to own this, and I'm sure you will see more videos of this locomotive in action in the future. So don't forget to comment, like and subscribe, and check out the links below, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Goodbye for now.